Welcome back to another rebuild, ladies and gentlemen. We will be doing the Buffalo Bills, as they were next on this list, even though they're definitely not the next overall ranked team in terms of it, but definitely the best situation I've gone into yet. At the same time, though, I am going to rely heavily on free agency because they need some receiving help to some degree. I also think they need some line help, but we'll take a deep dive into the team here after you guys will see at the free agency because I gotta go through all the scouting and everything. But on to the rebuild. We're gonna keep running Sean McDermott because frankly I think he's a pretty good coach, and if not, I would like to anger Bills fans. So this is probably hopefully the only time I anger Bills Mafia in this video. But I'll admit, free agency is not very helpful for us. As you tell, there's not a lot of high quality options compared to what we have in the first place. But not to mention, we only got a punter. I signed one punter and I have 10 million in cap left. So I really didn't have a lot for quality talent, and that's part of the issue. Is currently this team just has no money. But we have some mediocre receiver options. Again, we got a pretty mediocre to mid running back options here. I'm really trying to find something in this middle here, but I'm not seeing a lot of promising talent in the draft or even available, which stinks. But I think we got to try to grab a D tackle here for Jones. Ideally, it's an edge person so that we can then quickly replace Vaughn when he retires, and then maybe a left. Besides, I think we're good. The issue is the draft class currently is heavy corners and everything, so a little concerned. Alrighty, with the draft recap here, what are we looking at? And we had we had a good DN pick, we had a good receiver pick, even though we didn't need the receiver, it was still a good pick. The guard was a good pick, which is good to see. I don't know if he's going to take a starting spot, that's the issue. He might get the slot, but I don't know if he's going to take a starting spot. Ooh, CPU! Get me a steal at the... Dude, we just improved this line pretty well here. What are we looking at team-wise? So we got a top 5 player. Right? Yeah, 4. Well, okay, he's tied for top 5, so he's in the top 5 options here, which is fantastic to see. And then, honestly, I mean, we got some other top-tier talent here, because we have 76 receiver. And then there's the guard. And then another guard's at 74 down here. I don't know where he's at, but he's somewhere around there. But that's not that bad, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 74. But with it being said, let's see what the team looks like. Good best lineup, reorder. We're obviously going to start Whitelock, and we're going to start him, so we're going to look worse to start, but these two should progress pretty well, especially the hidden one. Which, what did they find me? There's the man that I picked that looks extremely racist. Just gonna shut up and leave that alone. So we do have, Spence does take over for Jones, which is good. Williams is still technically a lackluster one for us, but we might be able to manage without it. And then in terms of specialists, he does not take over because Shakir still has it. Obviously, we're keeping Oliver and everybody here. So, I guess we're just going to hop on and see what we can do. But that team looks a little bit more promising. I don't know if it's better, but it looks more promising. So, let's see what we can do. I'll see you guys at playoffs, and we'll see how this team looks. Well, we won out. I'm assuming we have a bye. That is a lot of ones, folks. That is a lot of ones. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket here. Of course, we have the bye, so we have 2 out of the 3 other teams of fear, being Chiefs and Ravens on our side. The rest are pretty okay. The plus side is we're not going to play Chiefs or Ravens to start. They're going to have to win out and play us in AFC Championship if we make it that far. Far side, San Fran had a killer year, which is unusual for them. Normally they aren't first. Normally the Eagles are. The Eagles being second are there. Rams are in. Packers, Falcons. All right, so let's hop on over the next week. I'm not going to end anything. We're just skipping ahead. There's no point in doing anything. We get the Colts. So we're going right to bracket here. We have 1, 4, 2, 3. So it is literally the highest teams you can put on our side. And almost the highest. 4 lost to 5, which was the Commanders. Now remember, Commanders, we just played in the Steelers rebuild. So we can see them again. I wouldn't rule it out. But I do question this AFC side. Because obviously if we win, we play 2 or 3. Ideally, it's neither. I don't want to play either one of those teams, but I've played the Chiefs so many second times, I feel like the AFC runs through them at this point if we're going to try and do a rebuild. But let's hop into the game here and see if we can beat the Colts, who have a pretty decent run, but we have a better run. Their passing defense isn't pretty good, but we pass a lot. We score a lot of points. We run mediumly well. I mean, Allen has the most there. Rasul has the most sacks. So I say we hop in and see what we can do. And by hop in, I mean I'm going to the end of this game. We're going to see if we're winning. All right, minute 25 left in the fourth. Up by 14. Let's see if... Wow, this is actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. They're short by a yard. That's going to kill some more time. No huddle takes them down to about a minute. Anthony Richardson, touchdown pass there to... I have no idea what that is, to be honest with you. I was trying to read the name, but they turned around too quick. Oh, it's Juwan Jones. That's why it made no sense to me, because it's not actually cold. But they're going to kick a PAT here. They're going to put him down by 7 exactly. So obviously we're going to see an onside kick here by the Colts. We're going to see if they can recover here. They have a shot. No, not going to recover. One timeout for them. I think this is going to be the end of it, as Josh Allen kneels out and we claim our divisional win as the Buffalo Bills. Honestly, I don't know if this is a really realistic one to have Colts versus Bills, but I won't rule it out. I won't. Because they can probably win their division and everything, so I'm not super concerned. I don't think they have any issues with it, but maybe. Bills take one final knee, and that is going to be the divisional round, I believe. Yep, divisional round win for the Buffalo Bills, as expected by this team. So let's be fair here, because that's what they do. But with that being said, it does pose now an interesting question of, do we play Ravens or do we play Chiefs? Leave your guesses in the comments below. We'll see who's right. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, the 49ers-Eagles is the matchup. So you get the 1-2 over there. So the question is, and we already won, so the question is it a 1-2 over here or a 1-3 over here? Now, I told you to leave your stuff in the comments. If we go read them and rip on people, feel free. But in 3, 2, 1, we play the Ravens. So we don't run through the Chiefs. The Madden gods have heard my prayers from the last rebuild. I don't have to take a Super Bowl chance to the Chiefs. Now, if I lose this, I might cry. Now, to give everyone a brief rundown of the Ravens team here, 90 overall. So they have the offenses are the same. Their defense is better. Now, their defense is higher overall, but our defense seems to be performing better. So I don't know. We may be a bit better off. I really can't tell, if we're being honest with ourselves. But our offense is better in terms of passing and scoring. Their offense is obviously better at rushing. Our defense gives up less points. So this should be a somewhat interesting matchup, or Madden's going to say no, and it's going to be one-sided by one of us. Let's find out what happens. Well, it looks like our superior run defense held them to jack shit. Which, honestly, I'm not surprised, because if you have a really good performing run defense, the Ravens genuinely can't do anything 9 times out of 10. It's honestly kind of sad how one-sided their offense is. Put him here. need to fix them if I do the rebuild. I need to keep that in mind. 34-17, a minute something left. I don't know if they don't even have any timeouts left, dude. This is pitiful. I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but maybe the other team should have by now. But like, I'm gonna pull up their stats at this. I genuinely think we just threw all over them because their throwing defense was so bad, and our rushing defense probably held Henry to like maybe 60 yards, and I guarantee Lamar can't throw. This is showing it right here. Like dude, he doesn't have time. He had like if you're watching one of food. I don't know if we're all like if you're looking at it, he doesn't have time to do anything. Like 1, 2, we're already there. Like, great, Andrews held on to that one. But like, how many seconds does he have? This ball gets snapped when? Ball snapped at 41. We're on him by 39. Like, we were almost already there at 39. That's like, you have under 2 seconds to throw this. 21. No, that was actually some. You actually had a fair bit of time for that one. They could have actually developed something on that one. But the thing is, we're only bringing 4. Like, this isn't a blitz. This is me I'm bringing 4 people. 4-man rush. That one wasn't a great example, actually. Madden, prove me right. I'm saying these things. Prove me right. Stop this lying stuff. Watch. Ball snapped at 14. We're already free by 11. Like, we're free and running at him in under 3 seconds. That's not enough time for him to do anything. We both have a 4th down conversion, though. I don't know. I would assume ours is early on, or else we would have went for it. Moderate pressure, almost picked off. Moderate pressure, had a guy open, still almost got picked off. That just shows what was happening here. But nonetheless, we are taking on a Super Bowl here in year 2. The question, though, is who do we play? Is it the 49ers or is it the Eagles? Remember, we had 1 versus 3, and we had 1 versus 2. So do we have a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 1? Do me a favor. You know the rules. Hit those comments. I'm going to show you guys. We're doing the same thing we did before. So get ready to see my face over your answer. I also just wanted to show this. We have 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns. He threw more times than we did and still had almost 20 less yards. But if we go to rushing, Henry only had 53 yards. No touchdowns or anything. Like Lamar, great. Lamar had 47. Allen rushed for more than both of them, which means they just let him run. Which honestly makes it even funnier. I mean, it doesn't help that Elijah Moore had -5. But I wanted that to be seen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am covering up the picture here. Who do you think we are playing in the Super Bowl? I will give you a hint. They are 5th in points for, 11th in passing yards, 7th in rushing yards, 18th in opponents' points per game, 20th in opponents' passing yards a game, and 8th in opponent rushing yards per game. They have 2 90 overalls and a 95 overalls. They're the top 3. You can see his face. Dang it. Well, if anyone can't tell by the bottom of that photo, that's somewhat not cropped by my hand down here. We are playing the San Francisco 49ers, who are a higher overall than me and everything, but as we have seen before, let me graciously move this over so you can see it. We are far superior in almost every category other than rushing yards. And based off of how the Ravens game just went, you can be a higher overall, but if we beat you in categories, we win. So MVP, our boy Josh Allen. There you go, Bills Mafia. And we get Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year, Amari Cooper second. For anyone wondering, we could not re-sign him due to cap space. Nothing else on that end for us. We have our young end here as a possible for Defensive Player of the Year. Campbell, who is currently... Or no, Campbell's our receiver, actually. No, I take that back. Campbell's the receiver. He's still in. The right guard we drafted is out, unfortunately. Spence. Let's go. Allen, we figured. Does he get on here? James Cook does get on here. Do we get a receiver? We do not. Lyman. No as well. Ooh, look at those two. Look at those two. And Spence is on there. That is nice to see. Nothing there. Bishop. That's the free safety. Getting on there for best DB, and we don't have a kicker on there, unfortunately. But to show you guys the overalls and everything, and to give you guys an idea of where this team sits, here's what we're looking at. We have an X Factor Shahir because of his placement receiver, I think. Cook gets superstar. Campbell still star at 82. So Slayton obviously was a superstar from the draft. Unfortunately, our other guard is injured. He got put on IR after the Ravens game. We're also missing, as you can tell, Keon Coleman. He is on IR. He's out for I think he's out for 24 weeks. We're also missing our starting center. He is on IR for another week, technically, so he just wouldn't be back, unfortunately, for this game. Defensive side of the ball, though, Bishop gets superstar. He has not been superstar before. Benford takes over at the 1 for Johnson. And then the boys here are both superstars. I gotta make sure they're set with their abilities. I think the other one who technically may not have his assigned would be Bishop and maybe the rookie. Because Bishop's not normally superstar. No, he has some ability set. Bench press and persistent. We're changing persistence. Form tackler. I don't know. I keep using form tackler. I have no idea if that works for the CPUs, but if they hit a hit stick and force a fumble, we're all for it here. But the other guy we got to look at here is Slayton. Fool me once in nasty streak. He could get there. He could honestly be a star guard for them that we took. Remember, that's the CPU pick, too. That's the CPU pick for, like, the 6th round. That's insane. That's what happens when you set your class list so strong, but on to the Super Bowl, on to the 49ers. Let's see if they can get it done, or if we can finally get them Bills the Super Bowl they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost over. I'm gonna be honest with you, they never really we've had the ball for probably about 2 minutes now. So that's why I didn't do anything. I'm like, I just kind of watched us just sit there and chip away. So, I'm just kind of waiting it out at this point, but it is almost inevitable that the Bills will win the Super Bowl here in a second. 33 seconds left. San Francisco switching to strip aggressive, but let's be fair. I don't see it happening. I have 1 second left. We're gonna kick a field goal more than likely. We're already up by 18. This is gonna put us up by 21. So that's 3 touchdowns in 30 seconds. I don't see them doing it. I'm just saying. There's 26 seconds left. They are going to kick this ball off, and we are going to have a ball. Game is over. 22 seconds. They probably about 2 to 3 plays, if they're lucky. But obviously, you're keeping, in my opinion, you're keeping your running back in, and you are keeping this ball downfield. Or my defensive line is getting you to about 0.2 seconds. Because that play took less than 4 seconds. So he had less than 4 seconds to throw the ball. 18 is when that started. Already in front of them. Under 5 seconds until we get pressure on him. And that's counting the broken sack plus running away. Buffalo is now done to strip aggressive as well. I don't know why, but alright. Purdy in the pocket. Miller in his face. Out of bounds. That's Von Miller in there too. But is there any Von Miller win more Super Bowl before he retires? That'll be fun. Stepping back. Not great pressure. Now we're getting some pressure on him. 3, 2, 1. Bombed it deep. Bishop breaks it up. 1 second left. One more needed on for Josh Allen. And your MVP will now also be Super Bowl champion. Yes. Yes. Let's go, baby. There we go. Now all time since the draft again. Like since we've done this for all the ones since the draft has happened. The draft's already happened. Let's go through and take a look at their draft versus what we did to change this team around. Alright, let's take a look at what I did. I drafted a receiver because now granted, you gotta remember Coleman's out injured, so is Shakir. I kept him, I didn't put him on IR just so we can tell he's here, but he is injured at the moment, so he's currently out. Remember, my right guard is out, so I went right guard, I went right and left guard to improve the line. Unfortunately, the Bills didn't touch that. Now again, that's mostly because of Madden ratings, because they play such a large factor in this. Now, the receiver pick, I thought they could use losing Cooper. They did take Caden Prattner in the 7th round. It's not great, but they also took Jackson Hawes, I believe you say this dude's name. Tight end at Georgia Tech in the 5th. That could become something. I'm just saying that could end up being something down the line. Now that gives you 3 tight ends, but still. But they also took a tackle late, Chase Ludent. So I thought that was a good one because you can probably put him at a guard spot. He might become something. Also, because Dawkins is getting older, that is not a bad one. At 31, he may only, granted, again, Madden will make him retire before they probably retire in real life, but still. We go to the defensive side of the ball, which is where you guys spent your first 5 picks, and then one in the 6th round was just another corner. Again, your corners in the game are ranked very well. So do they always perform their greatest? No. So the Maxwell Harrison pick in the 1st, I wasn't a fan of. I still think that was a terrible pick for them. I think they should have went linebacker of some kind because you need to replace Milano in a few years or Williams now, in my opinion. But that, again, I saw that as a need. You took a tackle, D-tackle TJ Sanders. I took Spence. So that's not a bad decision considering I'm running everything the same. I didn't change anything about the Bills. I didn't change their formation. I didn't change any. I left it the same. So that's not a bad idea. Taking D-end Landon Jackson out of Arkansas is a good one because Von Miller will retire soon. So that is a good one to have. And then you also took another D-tackle in Deion Walker for Oliver eventually. Again, he is 27. He's got a while left. But that gives you another one in the rotation. Because remember, in Madden, you don't rotate as much, whereas in real life, you'll rotate more. And then they went DB out of Ohio State, Jordan Hancock. Again, fantastic. I'm saying fantastic idea. I didn't touch their corners. I didn't sign any corners. All I did on the defense was Spence. And I got you another receiver, which I forget who they got in free agency, but like that might be your only real need. And then I think shoring up the middle part of the O-line, which I had done until they got injury prone, but as you can tell, we still won with an injured O-line. So that might be something. But the other thing they realized, and I think taking the tackle in the 6th might become something, is your Dion Dawkins gets injured a fair bit in certain points. So having an extra one is not a bad idea. So I think the draft hit some aging spots in your D-line pretty well between Von Miller and Jones. I think the DB picks are low place. I think your 1st round pick still should have been a linebacker. I think trying to replace Milano or replace Williams now would have been something that they should have done. and they didn't. But besides that, everything else looks okay. I can't be too mad about anything that I was looking at. I had to like pull it up because I had to double check what their picks were. But I can't be too upset. I can't say you guys had a bad draft. You need to put yourself on the right track. But we're going up next with in division New York Jets. That's gonna be a fun one because I have to make sure I sign Justin Fields that one. I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I'm gonna try to. But we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys when we get over to the Jets rebuild. But that's Bills Mafia for you. Let me know how you feel about the rebuild, how it looks, and how I drafted versus how you guys drafted. But besides that, I'll see everybody on the next rebuild. Have a good one.